Hello everybody and welcome back to Farm Sim 25 and welcome back to our New Frontier Survival Challenge on Hard Economy. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and I just had a heart attack. Not in real life, but basically in real life. But I didn't actually have a heart attack for those of you who might get concerned. Like y'all I'll either edit it into the video so that you guys can see it, or you'll see, because whew, boys, yeah. So yeah, it's been a couple of years since the last time we've spoke. Spartan, you just uploaded a video the other day. Nah, not like that. I mean in game. It's been a couple of years, and the astute among us may be able to look out over the distance and go, "Oh look, our trees are ready." 36-meter tall lodgepole pines, about 87 of them. It's right. 3 years in the making. That's how long it took me to grow these things. Okay, so that's how much time has passed between the last episode and this one. 3 years. Now, some of you be looking at my money in the bank and be like, well, Spartan, where's your money? Well, funny you asked that. Apparently, as you're speeding up time, there is this thing called loan payments and maintenance costs for all of your facilities that you own. It eats it away. So all our money is gone. But it got worse than that. It actually got down into the negatives to the point where I actually started just automatically selling some of the lettuce directly from the greenhouse. But don't worry, there's plenty of lettuce to go around. And that's what today's episode's going to be all about. This is going to be a different style episode. There's not going to be as much recording involved. It's going to be a regular style video where I just sit here, we talk about stuff, and we go haul all of the 3 years worth of production stuff in to get it sold. It's going to be a profitable episode, folks. So, one other thing you may have noticed. I kept everything running for the entire 3 years. It took me about 3 hours off screen to get this to 3 years. And basically that because I had to cut down the entirety, well, most of the trees that were left over here on the right side. And I've got stumps to cut up over there at some point. But that's a problem for future me. For present me, we gotta ignore it. But yeah, we've got our bales over here to sell off. This is silage, so we'll be selling them today. We've got a boatload, and I do mean a boatload, of wood components. Larry the Log, of course, you know, acting as security over here for all of our stuff. But look at this. Look at all these beams. Look at that. All the beams. All of the long planks that you could ever ask for, and then all of the short planks that you could ever ask for. Don't ask what happened back here. But I tried to keep it all nice, but, you know, sometimes the game just doesn't like me. But especially when you've got this much stuff hanging around. And then the even more astute among you may see that we have 3 years worth of lettuce, mostly, on the truck. That is a lot of lettuce, folks. We got a lot of money to make today. And we don't even have to cut down a tree for once. And they're all ready to go. Look at them. Also, yeah, for the foreseeable future, lettuce will be getting sold directly. I'm not loading up lettuce anymore. Not happening. But yeah, we're going to leave that on sell directly. But yeah, look at this beautiful forest of lodgepole pines as far as the eye can see. Well, not really, but you get the picture. 87 trees we planted. 87! Look at them. All purty. I mean, there's a couple that are a little bit awkward. But for the most part, you get the memo. Look at this money. That's what I see. I don't see trees. I see money. When you think about the amount of money that we got sitting here, whoo, buddy, we are going to have some good money. It's going to be great. Also, look at how few trees we have left. I even got rid of my little tree that I was using for a walkway across my pond. Look at that beautiful waterfall. God, I love this property. It's so beautiful. And I have such good high hopes for it. But look at all the trees that we have over here. Don't mind this one laying here. But yeah, look at all these trees. They're so big and tall and so much money to be made. Cannot wait. But first things first, it's time to take the lettuce into town and sell it off. So, yeah, you guys are going to come with me. For once, we're not going to be doing a whole bunch of jump cuts. We're not going to be doing an edited down, like 3-hour long recording session. We are going to simply let you guys come along with me as we take all of this stuff into... Don't tip it, don't tip it, don't tip it. We're fine. As we take all this stuff into town. Bessie, she got her work cut out for her today. Because it's going to be one of those days where everything needs to be sold. And we have so much stuff to load up. But it's fine. We'll get this into town no time flat, and then we'll be able to sell it all off. And I can't wait to see how much money we end up with just from selling lettuce. This is 31 pallets. Each one of these pallets is worth, I want to say it's like $1,900. So yeah, should be a good payday. And just like that, we're here. We're back in town. First time they've seen me in 3 years. I've been hanging out at home, munching on lettuce for the last 3 years. Eking out an existence. But at least I had a place to lay my head down and enjoy it. Ooh, look at the sunflowers. That's pretty. That's pretty. At least it's not an overgrown nasty field for once. Oh, there's back to overgrown nasty fields. I don't know why the AI does not take care of their farm. I mean, I don't know why the other farmers in the area don't take care of their farm. But, yep, we going up in here. We're going to have a good time. So, let's go ahead and unfasten that. Unfasten that. And then pull in and sell everything off. $28,000 in lettuce. That is more lettuce than anybody ever deserves to have to load up on one truck. But $28,000 just from lettuce. All right, let's get back over to the property. You guys know the deal. We got a lot of work to do. But at least this is the easy kind of fun work. Like, I know you guys are going to see me load all this stuff up by hand. Some of you guys don't like that. Some of you guys do. Personally, the way I see it is, if you're really worried about your immersion, seeing me lift pallets by hand, just assume or just picture in your head that instead of lifting the entire pallet by hand, I'm loading them one by one into the truck, like whether it's a box at a time or whatever. That's all. That'll help you come to terms with it, because it does happen. Like, there's a lot of places. I've worked in factories my entire life, essentially, my entire adult life, and we've had to load many of things up by hand. Of course, I was a forklift driver too, so I loaded a lot of stuff with forklifts, a lot more stuff with the forklifts. But yeah, when I was in smaller factories and stuff, it wasn't uncommon to have customers show up in pickup trucks, right? You're not usually doing a whole lot of loading with forklifts on pickup truck. You can. You got to be careful. You don't want to scratch somebody's nice truck. Usually a customer has a really nice truck and they show up and you're like, do you really want me to throw this in the back of that truck? Like, I don't think you understand how much this weighs. But yeah, it's time. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about, we have all this wood here. We also have this log cabin of our uncle's up here. Now, I am terrified of taking this wood that we have here and using it to grab this and build this up right now, because we don't own this property. This is technically not on our property. And I am terrified that if I bring stuff over here and load it into this thing, that it's going to go to waste. Because this isn't our property. Like you can see, looking at it, it doesn't tell me what it needs. Now, I know what a buildable log cabin needs. I know every component that thing needs. I marked it down and did all that work. But I'm terrified. So I think we're going to sell all this stuff off. We're just going to have the most money we've had in the bank ever by the end of this episode. It's going to be great. So, with that being said, let's get our stuff built. And by built, I mean loaded. We got our work cut out for us in this one. Now, the other thing is, we don't really have a good trailer for this So part of me kind of wants to do the whole buy a new trailer. But we'll see. You know what? We're buying a new trailer. We're buying a flatbed trailer for this. This thing is just not cut out for it. All right, Bessie, as much as I love you, I don't think this is the right thing. I mean, we just have so much stuff that needs loaded up. Now, some of you guys will be looking at this trailer over here going, why not use this one? Well, this is a bale trailer, and it does not have straps. It is an auto-loading trailer. It does not have straps. So we can't really use that. What we can do, however, is go into the store and see what we got in the store. Now, right out the gate, we've got this 380 GTA Turbo FarmCon Fent mod, and it's got 95 horsepower. Now, some of you guys were telling me about this. This is actually pretty cool. You can put like a tank on the front, and it can do spraying and stuff like that. It also has the ability for the PTA or PTO on both the front and the rear. So you've got a lot of options for this thing. But again, we've already moved past this, so it wouldn't do us a whole lot of good. It's a great deal. It's a great deal right now, but it wouldn't do us a whole lot of good. So we're already past that. What I do want to look at is trailers. So if we go to flatbed trailers, the things that I was looking at would be something like this little Farm Tech trailer. Now, the downside is this thing has what we call a movable front axle. It's a steering axle on the front, which I don't like. It's a dolly trailer. It's annoying as crap. But, yeah, we're not going to be using the extension. We're just going to use it as a flatbed trailer. We'll leave it as is. That is going to be $20,000 gone, but we needed it, right? So let's jump in the old, wait, this one is capable of 16. This one is capable of 26. So we'll drop the old winch down and go pick up the new trailer. Bring that back over here. Load up all of our stuff. It'll just allow us to move a lot more at one time instead of having to, like, load everything into the little trailer on Bessie. So it'll just save us time in the long run. Yeah, you're using the tractor to do it, so you're not as fast as Bessie would be hauling this stuff, but you're able to make a lot more happen with one trip, so you're going to end up with less trips overall. I think that is definitely what you would call preferable. But the next thing we need to do is, once we get this stuff all loaded up and take it over there, we're going to have to load up our bale trailer, which is an auto-load trailer, so that'll be quick. But we have silage to sell, man. I'm excited for today. This is a lot of work that has gone into this series, and we have absolutely crushed it up to this point. We have absolutely crushed it. And now, I knew once we got the house and we were able to skip forward in time and we already had our trees planted, I knew we were going to be able to be just fine. But if you look at the last few episodes specifically, the amount of progress that we made is absurd. And then to remind everybody, like, where we come from, let's look at the stats real quick, in case anybody thinks I'm joking about, like, it took us 3 years of in-game time to get here. We're on year 5 now. We've also cut down 266 trees by hand. All right? 266 trees. So, yeah, we have put in a lot of work. A lot of work. And then as far as hours go, how many hours do we have? 41.34 hours, or 41 hours, 34 minutes. So about 41 and a half hours. That is a lot of work. And this is only episode 12. But we're just starting to get into the money making now. Now that we have the ability to make a lot of money real fast, we're going to be stretching our legs into other things as well. The reason we went into the forestry initially is because it's easy, quick money, right? We can make a ton of money real quick, which is going to allow us to buy more land, which is going to allow us to do more things. The other thing I wanted to do is do the forestry first, because I don't know if they fixed the bug yet. There was a bug in the game. There may still be a bug in the game. Whereas if you save and leave, while trees are in a specific growth state, they could just disappear completely. Just completely disappear. and there's nothing you can do about it. Speaking of disappeared, I forgot to tell you guys what happened. Why I almost had a heart attack. Well, when I loaded back in, after spending 3 hours this morning getting everything up to, going through 3 years of in-game time and keeping the sawmill running, cutting down a small forest, and, dragging everything over to the sawmill to keep everything running, I got everything loaded onto the Bessie, in the trailer with Bessie, all the lettuce loaded up and everything. And then when I first loaded in to start the recording, everything was gone. Everything. Every pallet of lettuce was gone. Every bale was gone. Every wood pallet was gone. Everything was gone. I had a heart attack. That is 3 years. More than 3 years, really. But 3 years of in-game stuff. All that progress. 3 hours plus of progress in the game. Gone. I literally about had a conniption. But fortunately, I didn't save. I went ahead, closed it out. I updated a mod and seemed to have fixed it. So, good news is, we okay. Larry, I gotta put you back over here, buddy. Appreciate you guarding our stuff for us, but we're gonna put you back over here on your little hill so that you can look over the spring while I do some work. And with that, let's get started loading everything up. Alright, let's put the beams on first. Seems like a good idea. Put the beams on. We want to bring this stuff up to about there. Because we want it to be as far forward as possible, but still be able to be strapped. That way we don't have to worry about knocking stuff over. We just go for it. It'll allow us to do this a lot quicker. Alright. But yeah, so I thought that you guys would enjoy, like, seeing a little real-time episode once in a while. Like, you guys have been seeing a lot of 3 hours compressed into, like, 40 minutes worth of video. And so I thought this would be a fun little one. Plus, you get all of the nice, like, payoffs, right? Like, all of the money that we've been working so hard to get. Like, that's the payoff, right? So I thought this was like the perfect episode to do a little real time with Spartan, just have a good time hanging out. And I'm so glad you guys have been enjoying the series so much. Now I know there's been a couple of episodes that were a little bit different that people didn't really watch. One of those was my fault because I ended up streaming Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts on the same day that I uploaded a video. And if you know anything about YouTube as a creator, sometimes YouTube limits your amount of notifications that can go out. So you guys may have not even gotten a notification for the one episode of farming, or for our survival challenge episode, just based off of the fact that, like, I had too many notifications sent out. I think on average, you're allowed like 3 notifications a day ish. Or YouTube will put out 3 notifications. So we already got 1 notification for World of Warships Legends, and obviously the farm sim would be another notification. But then what happens is, because farm sim isn't as popular as, say, my Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts streamed series and my World of Warships Legends content, because it's not as popular on my channel yet, YouTube will recommend it initially to people, so they'll get notifications to come watch, but then they won't promote it outside of that. So YouTube will just, like, not promote it outside of my channel, essentially. So the only way for people to find it is to come to my channel directly, unless they stumble upon it, but generally it won't be recommended by YouTube. Which is why it's so important for everybody that you guys enjoy this series, and you guys punch that like button for me, and share the videos with folks that you know that like to watch Farm Sim as well, because every little bit helps, and I'm still trying to break out of my comfort zone with the edited videos and starting to do Farm Sim and other games as well. So everything that you guys do is very helpful. So thank you guys. I appreciate you. Whether it's liking the videos, watching the videos all the way through. The watch time on these videos has been fantastic. You guys have been sticking around and watching this longer than any other series that I've got going on, like on average. Now, part of that is just that these are longer, but yeah, it's great that you guys are enjoying the series as well. So thank you guys. But back to the loading. Hello. It can be a little bit finicky at times when you're picking up these pallets by hand. Just a little bit. There we go. But look at all the stuff that we have, man. It's going to be great. And I know some of, like I said, I know some of you are probably like wanting me to use this stuff for the for the log cabin, and honestly, that would be a lot of fun to get that thing built up. But until I own that property that it's on, I'm not even gonna try, because I just don't want to find out the hard way that it's not gonna work, and then lose out on all this money that we've saved up and worked hard for the last 3 years in game time. And then I am completely destroying everything around me. All my nice stacking that I did, completely destroyed it. Alright, this will be the last pallet of the beams. Alright. Let's go ahead and start putting on our long planks. We're just going to fill up the trailer until we can't get any more on it, and then we'll go from there. Now for these, we should be able to get these 3 high, I believe. There's so much money sitting on this trailer right now. It's going to be fantastic. This is easily going to be our most expensive trailer ever. Like, we just got... the lettuce was officially our most money we ever made in a single selling. And that was... What was it? 28,000 or whatever? 29,000? Somewhere in that neighborhood. And now we're about to earn way more than that. Now, we don't earn as much on this as we would if we weren't on hard economy. On Elm Creek, when I was doing that, like, we were earning, for beams, we were earning like $6,000 a pallet. Like, we're making like half that. But that's still a ton of money. Alright. I hope you guys are excited as I am for this. I cannot wait. Like I said, this was 3 years, 3 hours off camera of me, like, keeping the sawmill going, cutting down the forest, dragging everything over, like, keeping everything watered. The water was easy because that trailer I was able to park over there, and once you start it, if you leave it by the thing, it'll just keep filling up your greenhouse, which is nice. So the water was easy, but cutting down the entire forest was a pain in the neck, as usual. One of these days we'll be able to afford some like actual logging equipment, and when that happens, production is going to go through the roof. Like being able to have like a feller buncher and all that stuff is going to come in real handy. Now, one of the things I will say is we don't actually have any more trees. So right now we have 87 trees. And I want to use the money from this that we're about to make. We're going to go ahead and take this in as is. There we go. But I want to use the money that we're about to make off of selling all this stuff to buy a new piece of property. Our first actual property expansion. And we will use that property as our next section of our tree farm. And we'll plant a lot more trees on that section. I just didn't want to clutter this area back up because we're using this for grass as well. But yeah, once we get over here, we're going to be in good shape. I'm looking forward to it. Like, look at the amount of money. We got 16 pallets of beams, 12 pallets of long planks. To put that into perspective, I'm pretty confident, if I remember correctly right off the top of my head, the log cabin only needs 16 wood beams. So it would take all of these wood beams right now to go ahead and fill up the beam requirement for the log cabin. But you need a whole bunch of stuff, and we're not going to be able to get any of that stuff until later. Like the beams, the planks, the long planks, not a problem. We have plenty right now to fulfill all of those. But then the cement bags and the prefab walls, we don't have that stuff. The furniture, we don't have that stuff. So for the time being, we're kind of limited in what we're able to do. We will be building that log cabin. That is one of the goals that I wanna do before the end of this series. But we have plenty of time. We have plenty of time. But I came up with a name for my John Deere in the time that it took me to do everything else. This John Deere is gonna be Dende. Any Dragon Ball fans out there, you guys know what I'm talking about. But this is Lil Green, man. Lil Dende. She's a good little tractor, man. Of course, if I call it Dende, I guess it'd be he's a tractor. But again, technically the Namekians aren't gendered as far as I know. Like they're all like just Namekian. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Like I'm a Dragon Ball nerd. Can't help it. Alright, dude, this is going to be so much money. We're going to save before we go into this trigger, because I've had issues with this trigger in the past. So, yeah. We're going to save ahead of time. So we'll go ahead and save it right now. Now seems like a great time to save. Right before I crash into the fence or the tree or the barn. Alright. Go ahead and just give it the nice little drive-by. Dude, that was satisfying. $70,900! Ooh, boys! We out here making money. And that ain't even like actual... That isn't even our big trees yet. That is literally just production from our little sawmill. And our little sawmill can't even like keep up with what we have. Like, it's absurd. But I have ideas, guys. So I'm going to run a few ideas by you. I want you guys to let me know down in the comments below what you guys think of these ideas. Since we're on the topic of forestry right now, I'm thinking that once we buy our new property and we start our next like expansion in terms of trees, once we get our trees planted and stuff again, what I'm thinking is we are going to also dedicate one area of our, or we're going to eventually have more property, right? We're going to buy more property. But when we do, we're going to have a different type of tree for that property. And that is going to be the northern catalpa. The reason being, if you don't know, northern catalpa trees are the biggest trees in the game in terms of volume. What do I mean by volume? Volume is how much it'll put into a business like a sawmill or a furniture place or whatever. Like any of that. Anything that takes a tree. The northern catalpa is massive. It is a real big, thick tree. It's also a gorgeous tree. But they're irregular trees. What do I mean by that? I mean, irregular trees are the kind that you can't use equipment to like work the tree, right? But what you can do is plant a whole bunch of them, as best you can anyway. Plant some of them, and then what you'll do is you can cut those down and drag those into your sawmill, and you'll get more out of those trees than you do anything else. And it's a pretty big difference between that and like the Scotch pine, for instance. Like the Scotch pine, I think it takes five trees of Scotch pine to get 14,000 liters, somewhere in that neighborhood. It's kind of crazy. And that might even not be right. It might be 6 trees, but it's somewhere in that neighborhood. 5 to 6 trees of Scotch pine to fill up the thing. Now, obviously, Scotch pine is, I believe, a little bit less volume than the pine, these lodgepole pines, but I don't want to use these lodgepole pines for that because this is a lot of money sitting here. Just cutting this into logs, I make a gajillion dollars off of it, right? So it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to go ahead and load that up as our sawmill, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm thinking is at some point, not saying we got to do it right away, but at some point in the future, I would like to do that. Alright, now's the part where we go ahead and move this stuff forward again. Beautiful. And then everything else should get thrown on this. We should be able to get everything else that we need to sell here. And I'm also going to throw that extra bale on here, if we can. If I have to, I'll throw the bale in the back of Bessie. Or, well, no, because we're not taking Bessie into town today. But yeah, we'll try to throw the bale on the back of this as well. Alright, little tip for you guys, if you are going to use the liftable pallets and bales mod, just get as close as, like, as just close enough to be able to grab a hold of something. You do that, you'll thank me for it. If you get too close to grab things, then you can't see nothing. Now, the other thing is you can switch to third person and kind of get an idea of, like, where you're at and all that stuff if you need to. But generally speaking, I feel like if I stay in first person and I just grab whatever it is that I'm grabbing from a little bit further away, it allows me to swing things around and place them higher and a little bit easily. I am just making a mess. I'm making a mess. As for all the OCD people out there that are looking at my stacks and going, wow, that looks really nice. Not anymore. I will say this, the other thing that happened while you guys didn't get to see was there was a tornado on the map. It ended up being a long ways away, so I didn't bother recording it. I was going to. I thought about it. But, yeah, given the fact that it didn't directly affect us during the recording, it just didn't seem like something that I needed to do. But if you guys get mad at me, I'm sure we'll see another tornado. They're not that uncommon in the game. At least I've seen a couple of them now at this point. I had one on live stream, and then they're kind of crazy. I ain't gonna lie. They did a good job with the sound. Like, just a roar of a tornado is pretty epic. But, yeah. Anyway, if you guys want to see something like that at some point, let me know. And next time we get a tornado, even if it's not near me, maybe we'll do a Storm Chaser episode. Speaking of storms, for those of you who don't know, I actually have a snowstorm right now that's going on. We're supposed to get another storm on Sunday. And so we're supposed to, all in all, where I'm at, we're supposed to end up with about, well, crap. I'm making a mess. I don't know what is going on with the physics right now. They aren't liking me. There we go. But yeah, so we're supposed to, like, we've already got 2 to 3 inches of snow today, and then we're supposed to get another anywhere from 4 to 8 inches, from what I understand, on top of what we already have this Sunday into Monday. So if all goes well, we'll be fine, but it's just one of those big snowstorms that we ain't had in a long time. It's been several years since we've had like a legitimate snowstorm here where I'm at. Global warming has been kicking old winter's butt. I say that just because I know a lot of people will say global warming, but either way, we've been in El Nino, and El Nino hasn't really given us much other than warm winters. Now we're in La Nina, which is making for a cold, wet winter, which we needed. Where I'm from in Ohio, we actually had a pretty nasty drought. One of the worst droughts I've ever experienced. We don't get droughts very often here in Ohio, or at least not my part of Ohio. It's usually pretty green all the time. Might get a little bit dry in August, but we actually had a significant drought and a forest fire, which is another thing that's pretty rare. I live in one of the, well, the only national forest in Ohio. It's called the Wont National Forest. And so it's pretty rare for us to end up getting forest fires, but they do happen occasionally. But it was a pretty significant forest fire, and it wasn't that far away from me. I live in a place called New Lexington. And so, oh look, another pallet. Isn't that nice? But yeah, this forest fire from during the drought was like right, I don't know, 4 miles away, if that. It was just out of town. Alright. Now we gotta load up all the little tiny pallets. But yeah, this will give you guys a little bit of a idea how long it takes me to do things. Even using this liftable pallets and bales, it can take a little while to load all this stuff up. So just gives you a little bit of an appreciation. It may be cheating to some, but honestly, there are way worse cheats out there than this. Like we're still keeping with the challenge, the nature of the challenge, in my opinion, which is starting from scratch, having, you know, hard economy, trying to survive out in the middle of nowhere by any means necessary. And we've done that. And we haven't cheated. We haven't tried to like use any of the known methods of cheating. No government subsidy mod, no like fancy sell everything mod that a lot of people use on PC. I'm on console, so we're limited by the stuff that we have access to in the first place. But even if it was available, I prefer the longer, slower progressions like this, where you grind. That's all it is. It is a grind. Once you get into the higher like equipment and stuff, I feel like it just loses some of its appeal to me. You know, I like the slow build up. I like how long it takes to get stuff done. Don't get me wrong, it's always going to be cool to see like giant tractors, giant implements, working on massive fields. And who knows, we might get to that at some point during this series, if you guys want to see me get to that point. But yeah, the early game with starting out and having nothing and working your way up, like, that's the part that I absolutely love about Farm Sim the most. It's just that build up. And then it's basically a sandbox after that. Like, you can do whatever you want, right? Like, there's no limiter. Whatever you can think of, basically, in the game, you're able to do. I like a lot of, like, cosmetic mods and stuff that allow us to do, like, different decorations and stuff. So once we get to that point, like, we got enough money to get stuff done, I want to go ahead and build up, like, a nice farm and have everything looking nice. I want to also, one of the other things that I want to try to do before the end of the series is buy all of the squares between us and the main part of town on the map. Let me look real quick. I'll show you guys what I mean. So, like, we want to buy at least all of these squares. So we would buy this one, this one, this one, this one, for sure. Maybe this one as well. So those all I want to get bought, because then we can build a road out to our property, right? Because right now we're just driving across open land. I want to eventually have like a road going from town out to our homestead. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And then obviously we're gonna have like solar power and stuff out here. A well, like I want to have like a windmill that's a water windmill, so that we have a pump for water, stuff like that. Like all of that stuff I want before the end of this series. So we got a long ways to go. We're just getting started. So that's what I'm thinking anyway. I'll have to see what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments if you guys agree. Do you guys like the slow grind as much as I do? And if you don't, that's fine. Like, that's the beauty of Farm Sim. You can do pretty much everything. You can start with a bunch of money, buy a gigantic farm, buy a bunch of land, buy giant tractors and harvesters, and just go to town. There's no right or wrong way to play it. That is the beauty of Farm Sim. As long as you're having fun, that's all that matters. But I'm glad we bought this trailer, because good lord, man. This trailer is a lifesaver. You know how many trips this would have taken to load up in Bessie with that little tiny trailer? Good lord. Here, we should be able to get all of this on here with 2 trips. Bessie would have had to get an oil change and new tank of gas. Bessie's been a good truck though, man. She's done everything that's been asked of her and then some. And the stuff that's been asked of her has been kind of crazy. Stuff you wouldn't normally put a truck through, but she took it and she did what she had to do. She is an actual lifesaver. Good old Bessie. We're almost done loading all this stuff though. And like I said, I don't mind using forklifts in this game. But the front loaders on tractors drive me crazy, especially because they get stuck in everything. Like, they actually get stuck in everything. It is so annoying. Like, if your forks are a little bit low, they glitch through the ground, and then you're going and you're doing like Tractor Olympics trying to get your freaking fork out of the ground. Sometimes they get stuck or fall through the ground completely. Like, it's a mess, man. It is a mess. So that's why I went with the liftable pallets and bales mod, just because it's just makes things a little bit nicer, a little bit less frustrating. Like I said, I drove forklift for, God, 15 to 20 years, somewhere in that neighborhood. So, different places I've worked, I've had a forklift license at every single one of them. I've been regular forklift drivers, I've been material handlers, I've been shipping and receiving, I've been the shipping and receiving, like, manager. We called them shipping leads. Had one on day shift, one on second shift. I've been in both. I ended up stepping down from shipping manager, or shipping lead, just because I didn't like getting all the crap rolling downhill from when somebody else screws up. But the people that I had working under me, they loved to work for me, and we got so much done. We were so efficient. Like we were the best. Period. And then after I stepped down and stuff, everything kind of went back to just being a mess. Trucks were not getting in and out on time. Like, it was just a whole mess. But the reason that people like to work with me, like all my forklift drivers and stuff, is because I didn't ask them to do anything that I wasn't willing to do, right? And they knew that. So that goes a long way. So if you're ever put in charge of like any other group of people, like, just be willing to get in there and do what you're asking others to do. It goes a long way. And be able to do it at a competent level. That's the other thing. Like, not just being able to jump in there and do it and do it with them, but being able to do that and show that you're capable of doing it at a high level, which of course they knew because I was right there with them. I got promoted through, hard work and just being there longer than everybody. But I was really good at what I did too. But boy, do I got some stories on stuff that I've seen in factories over the years. There have been some interesting moments. But I like working in factories for a couple of reasons. One, me and the sun don't get along. I've worked excavating, I've worked construction. I don't like working outside. It's cold in the winter, hot in the summer, and the sun and I don't get along. And it's hot in the summer and cold in the winter being a forklift driver too, especially when you work in a glass plant like I did at my last job. The summer times are brutal. But you're not just being cooked by the sun directly like you are if you're working construction or excavating. But I think that's why I like heavy equipment too, is because I've worked excavating, because I've worked construction. I've operated tracos and forklifts and different size equipment. I just enjoy it. All right. Oh, this one tried to escape. There is no escape. I hate how the pallets sometimes get hooked on each other. Alright, we're going to grab this little bale over here before I forget. And we're going to throw this on here too. There we go. Alright, let's get this into town. See how much money we're about to make here. We have 3,500 liters of silage. We got 13 pallets of long planks and 37 pallets of short planks, or just regular planks. Are we going to be over $100,000 for the first time ever in this playthrough? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. Oh. Just leave you guys on a cliffhanger. I know this is a bit of a longer episode, but again, I wanted this to be a real-time episode so that you guys can appreciate the time that goes into every episode. Like, you guys see, like, me cutting away, like, 30 to 40 minutes at a time. And some of it's even more than that. The time lapses, a lot of those time lapses are, like, an hour and a half long that have been cut down into, like, 5 to 6 minutes. So, yeah, you guys can get a little bit of a feel for all of the work that I'm doing. I'm not cheating, well, some might say that the lifting the bales is cheating, or lifting the pallets is cheating. And again, if that's your prerogative, fine. But for me, I don't consider that cheating. I consider that more of an efficiency thing, allowing us to do things a little bit quicker. And, I mean, look how quick, it still took us a long time to load these trailers. But look how nice they look. I mean, that goes a long way, right? For all you OCD folks, I mean, this is pretty, I mean, it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. Oh God, I shouldn't have said that, because now I can see the pallets that are up on top of the other ones. Look away! You know you gotta load when it slows this truck down going up a hill. Or this tractor. Because this tractor doesn't slow down. Even when pulling full trees, or the crane trailer full of logs, like, it only goes down to, if it's a really big load, it'll go down to 12 miles an hour going up that hill. So we got a load and a half. Look at this. So good. I love those sunflowers, I ain't gonna lie. I do love them. There's something about them that's just pretty. I like sunflowers in real life. I've never seen like a full field of sunflowers like that, but I see like a lot of people around me grow a few sunflowers here and there. They're just beautiful. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing here, except obviously that bale isn't going to get sold. Let's go ahead and save again, just to make sure before we do this. I don't want the game crashing and wasting all that time. Alright, here we go. Perfect. 75 grand! Good Lord, man. And then, I don't know if this sells here, if we have to go back around. Okay, I think we have to go back around. I know that's like for grain and stuff. So it looks like we're going to be selling, because that's where we sold our silage before when it was loose silage. But now that it's an actual bale, I think you sell it over here. There's another $453 for that little bale. Very nice. Very nice. That does not give me a lot of hope for the silage that we're about to sell for the rest of it. But we're at $157,000, guys. $157,000. We got a little bit of silage to sell. It's not going to be a lot of money, but it's going to be a little better than that. So if that was $457 for that little bale, each one of our bales is going to be more than that. Not quite double. It'll probably be around maybe $600 a bale. And we've got essentially a truck and a half of them. It's pretty solid, man. Pretty solid. But it won't take us too long. We'll get over here. The auto load is the easy part. We just pull up and let it load them up. It just boops them onto the trailer and you're done. But this also kind of gives you guys an idea how long it takes to drive the tractor back and forth to the store too. We're kind of out here in the middle of nowhere, but you guys can kind of see the direction that I've been driving. This is going to be a road someday. It's going to be a road. I am going to buy this property from the mainland, or the main area, all the way down here. We're going to buy that property, and we are going to put a road in all the way out here to our farm. There's like a little spot that's basically cut right through here that's the perfect size for a road, right? Then obviously when we get this next section, we'll cut a spot through it because it's a little bit dense. If you go out a little bit further, you could get into it. But I want to show you guys the property that I have my eyes on, and see what you guys. Well, I say see what you guys think. I'm buying the property today. We have plenty of money in the bank for it. But yeah. We'll get up here, we'll drop this trailer off. Won't have to use this anytime soon. But we'll put this trailer right next to our sawmill so that going forward, I can simply put the stuff on the trailer right out the gate. And then we could just haul it into town when we want to. So we'll put this about here. And then we'll grab our auto load bale trailer. Set it into operating position. And we'll snatch up all of the black bales first. So yeah, I forgot that when you buy bale wrap that you need to reselect the color. The color is part of the film itself now, not something that you select on your baler anymore. Come on, 3 more bales. There we go. So yeah, we got 1 full truck and then a partial truck. Set it into transporting position. All the marshmallows are good to go. That's what it looks like, isn't it? It looks like regular marshmallows that haven't been roasted, and then some burnt marshmallows. That's what happens. This is what my marshmallows look like when I go eat them. You guys ever roast marshmallows? I'm sure I'm not the only one out there that roasts marshmallows. But I always used to set mine on fire on purpose. I like catching my marshmallows on fire on purpose. And then I would blow out the fire, and I'd peel off the outer layer, eat that, put the marshmallow back into the fire, let it catch on fire again, pull it out, blow out the fire, peel the outside layer. You'd get like 3 or 4 times of going into the fire that way. And then you don't have to eat as many marshmallows. The more you know. Yeah, we got 24 bales. Each one of these, I think, are 5,500 liters. So that's quite a bit of silage. I mean, it's not a lot of silage, but it's a decent amount for what we have. I mean, for our little area that we cut twice. We've only mowed the grass twice. Actually, I lied. We mowed the grass 3 times. The first time we did it, we put it into the silage pit. And then the second time, we baled it with the black bales. And the third time, we baled it with the white bales. All right. I do want to check, though, who is buying the silage. I may need to sell this at somewhere else. Okay. Oops. Silage. Right now, we're crashing into something, probably. Oh, not quite. Okay. Silage. Where are you at? There you are. It is just the farmer's market. Okay. I didn't know if the animal dealer area or whatever, I didn't know if they bought it, but yeah, it's just the farmer's market. So all of this will be able to be sold off over at the farmer's market. Now, I wonder if we can just drive it through, or if we have to. I think we actually have to unload it. Because I think it treats them as if, like, they don't actually exist. All right. Perfect. Another $16,000. You can see that silage ain't worth a whole lot. It ain't worth a whole lot. I mean, $16,000 ain't nothing to sneeze at. Wasn't that long ago, $16,000 was a lot of money. But suddenly we got $174,000 in the bank. It don't feel like as much money anymore. I'll tell you what, if somebody walked up to me and gave me a check for $16,000 right now, I'd be a happy person. I'd be a happy person. I don't know about y'all. But if somebody walked up and gave me a check for 16 grand, I'd be like, oh my God, all my problems are solved. That's not true, but it would feel like it. Because, I mean, I'm not poor by any stretch of the imagination, right? Like, it's not that I don't have any money. I've been poor. I know what it's like to have nothing. And, but I will say this, that I live paycheck to paycheck based off of my YouTube channel. And when you only get paid once a month through YouTube, making that paycheck go and stretch for an entire month is tough. It's rough, man. It is rough. Having to budget for an entire month when you like spending money is rough. But I don't make a lot off of YouTube. I make it just enough to get by. So, just one of those things that a lot of people think that I make more than I do, and some people think that I make less than I do, and it's just like, nah, I'm kind of right there in the middle. Kind of right in the middle. I will say one thing. The beginning of the year is always the worst for me because now it's tax time. And as somebody who's self-employed, I know I hate taxes. I hate taxes so much. It's just like getting robbed. You work your butt off all year and then you just get robbed at the end of the year. Used to look forward to tax time because I would always pay into it all year, my jobs that I work. So when you pay your taxes all year, then you get to the end of the year and you've overpaid and you get a check back from the government. Those are always fun. But when you don't pay your taxes all year and then you decide to pay them once a year, when it's tax time, you stop looking forward to tax time. You just like, I don't want to. Start looking at the government as like this bad guy. Like, hey, what are you doing looking at my money? Back off. All right. That is all the bales. That is all the bales, man. Who would have thunk it, man, after 3 years of hard work, sell it all off, $174,000, about to have a little bit more than that in the bank once we get these marshmallows turned up. Then we'll look at the property and see what property we want to buy. There's a couple of options. I've got my eye on a couple of them. And we can afford any of them. That's the beauty of it. We can afford any of the property that's near us. No problem. But I'll go over that once we get there. Now, I know this has been, like I said, I know this has been a long episode. I didn't want to do a jump cut episode with selling because I thought that would be kind of lame. I wanted to show you guys, you know, a real-time episode of how long it takes me to haul things and load up all the stuff, and I thought it'd be fun to just sit here and chit-chat with you guys while we did it, and you guys can see the work that goes into it instead of just time-lapse and everything like I have been. Because like I said, the average episode is usually about 3 hours of recording. Some of them have been 3.5 to 4 hours of recording, cut down into a 20 to 40 minute video. And today we've been going for about an hour and 5 minutes currently to get everything loaded up. And that's with having all the lettuce already loaded up. I ain't gonna lie, that lettuce took about a half hour to load up. It was rough. But I got it all on one trip. Got it all on one trip, man. Only barely, but we did it. We got so much money in the bank. What are we gonna do? Maybe I won't buy the property right now. Maybe I'll show you guys the options and then let you guys decide in the comments what we should do. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do here. Boop. $7,700, not too shabby. We're up to $182,000, guys. We had $2,000, something like that, in the bank when we started, so we made over $180,000. Plus, we bought a $20,000 trailer. So we made over $200,000 today. Don't believe me? Well, there's a fun little way to look. Sold bales, $24,000, basically $25,000, and then sold products, $175,300. So overall, we made over $200,000. Pretty awesome. That's the amount of money that we were able to make by cutting down some of our Scotch pines, dragging them over to the sawmill while we were waiting for the big trees to grow. That's why I wanted to put in all that extra work and do that instead of just skipping forward. I could have just skipped past it. There was no reason for me to keep filling up the sawmill. Nobody was going to see it, but I think this shows that it was worth it. And the money that we made off of selling the lettuce as well. I mean, that was more than I thought it was going to be. What was that, $28,000 just in lettuce? I didn't know people ate that much lettuce, but we'll take it. Turned lettuce into cheddar. I'm a magician. Right, and with this, we're right back where we started at our beautiful property. It's hard to believe how many trees I've cut down. And then I went and planted 87 more. So, oh, you just cut down the entire forest, then you planted 87 more. Why would you replant? Well, because that's money right there, baby. That is money. To put that into perspective, each one of the, like every 5 trees that we have sitting there, every 5 of them is like 50 grand. It's about $10,000 a tree, roughly. That's by my estimates. Okay, we have 87. That's $870,000. Right? Did I just do that wrong? Try again. It's about $10,000 a tree. It's $87,000. No, that's not right. Yeah, it's like $870,000. I wasn't wrong. But we did it. We sold everything off. Let's look at the farm equipment. We already looked in here, right? Yeah. Let's look at the map, and we'll go over like the ideas that I have, and we'll visit a couple of places. So this is our property. Obviously, some of you guys will be like, well, Spartan, just buy the property with the log cabin, then you can start working on that. That's $144,000. That's basically everything that we just sold off goes into that. Then there's this property that's only $72,000. Let me visit this property and show you guys. This is the property in question. You see how sparsely populated it is with trees? That means we can go through here and start planting trees immediately. Right? And a lot of them. Or you can cut down the little bit of trees that are left and start making a arable farm area, because this is nice and flat too. This is like perfect farmland. Right? But I think I'm leaning towards the direction of starting our next farm over here, in terms of where we're going to put all of our trees. Now, the other part was this property right here. If we visit this, like we said, we know that we're over there, but this area right here, like we can start to cut all of these trees out of here. There's also quite a bit of open area here, right? But we drive through here all the time, and I don't want to start filling this area up just yet. I think when we buy this area, I want to start clearing these trees out. Hopefully by then we'll have a feller buncher, but we'll clear all these trees out and then load that up, get it out of here, and then we'll be able to start making our way with a road towards the spawn point. So that's what I'm thinking, is this property right here. $72,000, 16.19 acres. To put that in perspective, this is 16.19 acres. This is 16.19 acres. You guys are getting the message by this point, right? There's 16 acres for every little square. But this one is only $72,000. That is like the best value that you're going to find, right? 78, 176. Like some of these are so expensive compared to the others. And what that is the trees that are on it, right? Like that goes into the value of the property, I'm assuming. So because the property that we were looking at is a lot smaller, or same size but a lot less densely populated in terms of trees and stuff, like it just makes sense that it'd be cheaper. So yeah, I think we just go ahead and buy this now. That's set that. Oh nope, that's the wrong one. It's this one. So $72,000. Let's go ahead and buy it. That still leaves us with over $100,000 in the bank and a perfect place to go ahead and call the episode. So in the next episode, we are going to be planting that property down there with lots of new trees to get it ready. And then this section here gets started with our harvesting. We're gonna be cutting down these trees, processing them up, and going and selling them. We are going to make a boatload of cash money moolah. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.